Alright guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the 5th event of the PGA Pandemic Society's calendar. This one is going to run from July the 9th to July 12th and it is the Workday Charity Open. And it's going to be held at the links at Gettysburg. Normally in place of this would be the Deere Classic, but Deere Classic's obviously pulled out because of the current pandemic and it has been replaced with the Workday Charity Open. The course also would normally be held at Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio, but because either the course isn't in the system or it's not really a good rendition, just changed it up to the links at Gettysburg. So it's actually quite a nice wee course and I think this is going to be quite a good one. So we'll run over last week's leaderboard. Some fantastic scoring, really fantastic. I think there was some really tough conditions out there. A lot of headwinds. It was causing some problems on par 3s from what I heard, and even myself, I was kind of caught out a couple of times. Just the minute you get above that kind of 10 mile per hour, it just starts getting a wee bit messy, but it was really good, and I think it kind of cut a good divide between the players. Looking at the leaderboard anyway, you'll be able to see that there's a decent bunch at the heavy under par, but you can actually have a look at the round 3 and round 4 and just pause the video and have a look at it. Sometimes you can see them drifting off a wee bit round 3, even though I think round 3 was the one without wind, and then it kind of comes back again for round 4. So in first place I predicted it was going to be a 45 under score. We actually had Theanlock at 50 under, which is some scoring, honest to God, unbelievable. We then had second place at Fun 30 Cooker at 49 under. Then we had Davey EMC 1977 at 47 under. I came in at a pitiful tied 72nd place. I really need to get my finger out. That was a 9 under a shot. My first round was actually quite good, 65 a shot. 69 seconds, 74 and then 71. After round 3 I pretty much just gave up, to be honest. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So just like any previous video I've done for the PGA Pandemic Society, we're just going to do a core kind of whole introduction and then I'm going to play the hole and then we'll bring it back up again once the putt goes in, and that's pretty much going to be the same. I've only had a chance to go around this course once, so there might be things I will miss out on. If that's the case, leave it in the comments below and let other guys know if you can do that. And as I said before, I'm not planning on shooting any fantastic scores. I'm actually trying to get a par round just to show you guys what the conditions are like. I don't want to be trying to max out a massive amount under par. That's not the point in this. Okay, so let's jump in and we'll get started. So we're playing it as the default setting. I'm not changing anything, so it's firm fairways, normal greens and a fast green speed. I'm going to be playing the black tees at 7,506 yards. Remember, these settings on the left will change round per round, especially the weather and the wind, and whether or not the firmness of the greens, fairways and the green speed will change, I'm not 100% sure. It's unlikely, but just keep an eye on them. Current green speed is 181 green, so just a wee bit faster than we've normally played. Okay, so hole 1, 429 yards, par 4, stroke index 5. Slight dogleg downhill from right to left. You do need to pick your first club wisely here. If you do hug the left side of that fairway, your ball's going to get drawn into the light rough. So just make sure you play it to the kind of centre right. And I would maybe drop it down a club or two just to make sure you're not in a dodgy slope. Stay away for the front of this green and try and target for just behind the pin. The ball does stop quite fast, especially kind of 1 or 2 notches on your high loft. You don't need to go crazy with massive amounts of spin in this. Okay, I wasn't actually going for the birdie putt there. There was a bit of me saying just try and lay up short here because I was aware that the ball could run off the front of that green, and that's just something to be aware of. Just make sure you're trying to drop the hole, just try to drop the ball into the hole as much as you can in that shot. Okay, so moving on to hole 2, 433 yards, par 4, stroke index 7. Quite an easy shot here. It does dogleg pretty much 90 degrees from left to right here. You're not going to basically gain any more distance with taking a driver off the tee here, so drop it back to a wood or even a long iron. You do have a kind of half ridge in the middle of this green. There's really no reason to be going pin high here. Really no reason not to be going pin high, sorry. I would be looking at just dropping that at the kind of left side of the pin, and a miss here would be at the left of the pin. So as I say, just be aware of your tee shot and drop it down club if needs be. Okay, so unlucky with the birdie putt there. I think I was maybe about a yard away from rolling down that hill on my approach shot into the green, so I'll count my chickens and move on with my par. So hole 3, 189 yards, par 3, stroke index 1. This does play the hardest hole in the course, and to be honest, as long as your tee shot's respectable, I think you should be okay. This is quite a tight pin position because if you do go on left here, you are missing the green, and obviously it's kind of tight-ish to the right hand side there, but I'd be looking at to play this directly onto the pin. As I say, there should be no reason why you potentially can't go to the pin here. With the normal greens as well, they aren't playing fast, they're quite forgiving as well, as long as you work out your shot, and the wind is in your favour on here, so you can't go too long. So again, we pull out the par there, not too bad, I'm happy with that. Just a wee bit of a miss hitting my tee shot. Just be wary of the green speeds here. You're at an awkward stage. 181's probably the tip of what I would say is being fast. Any more than that and it just gets silly. So you're wanting to be a wee bit respective of the actual green speed. So hole 4, 568 yards, first par 5 we come across, and it is stroke index 17. Slightly kind of meandering fairways, bunkers drop down, and we do have runs off here, so you want to obviously stay away from the right side of that green. And this is probably one, even though that is an amber slope, this is one that you could potentially be looking to run your ball up to the hole, and this is probably one I'll be looking to just land it 7 or 8 yards short and just allowing the front spin if you can get any, and that should be alright. That was a wee bit of a crazy hole there. I think I was lucky I actually pulled out the par on that one. I really did think it was going to be a lot worse. That kind of second last putt that was going for birdie there, I really didn't think it was breaking that much, but I might have read it wrong. Okay, so hole 5, 373 yards, par 4, stroke index 15. Relatively short downhill par 4 in this one, but the way the bunkers are situated and the way that the fairways do narrow, I would be looking just to lay up short here. I wouldn't be looking to take this green on, even with favourable wind conditions. It's a nice wee birdie there. I think that was all down to that approach shot, but you really couldn't go wrong with that. It was kind of set up quite nicely for you. Okay, so hole 684 yards, par 3, stroke index 3. So quite a straightforward par 3. We do have a ridge, red and amber ridge running along the front of this green, which again, if you do play your shot too short or too much to the right, you are going to be off the green. So potentially, if you feel confident enough, you do have a favourable green on this one with it being normal. This is where noting the green firmness is completely worthwhile. If you have a normal or a soft green, maybe go for the green. Certainly you do have a wind to favour your shot just to draw it in a wee bit there or fade it in, so see what you think, but I'd be looking to play where the aiming reticle is about now. That would certainly ensure you certainly a much more straightforward putt. To be honest, I think there would have been an absolute uprising if I managed to sink that birdie. I have no idea where the hell that kicked out from, but I'll take it. So moving on to hole 7, 653 yards, par 4, stroke index 11. So this is the kind of first time we start to see water coming in on this course. This is I wouldn't even class this as a dog leg, because the first part of that fairway really shouldn't be coming into play. It is quite a long but fairly straightforward par 5, so you can cut over that water as best as you can, and you would be probably looking just to have a fairly straightforward layup. Keep an eye on the fairway slopes here. You want to make sure that you've got a relatively flat lie, because if you do have a below feet ball position, you could be looking at that bunker on the right hand side without taking extra care. Again, this is one where you've got to kind of weigh up your options here, but the pin is probably ideally going to be your best option. So that was nice. You can see this, the downslope that I had on my shot into the green there really affected the speed in which that way the ball came out. So I think that was alright. As I said, I'm not planning on getting a fantastic score here. I'm not really putting a lot of effort into my putts. I'm just trying to get away and show you guys the course as a whole. So hole 8, 388 yards, par 4, stroke index 13. So again, another one kind of weighing up the risk and reward here. You do have bunkers protecting that narrow fairway, and the pin position is just slightly tucked away at the back right. Again, with sloping parts on the green, you do need to pick your shots carefully here. So maybe even just before the pin to the left or the back right hand of that green is going to be your best options. Alright, so we pull away another par on that one. You can definitely see it just trickled onto the light rough on that one there. But you can be a wee bit more aggressive with these pins, as I says. Just make sure you're making note of the green speed and also the green firmness, just to let you know how aggressive you can be. So, hole 9. 395 yards, par 4, stroke index 9. Again, another fairly straightforward one here, but you do want to pick your positions on the fairway very carefully. And quite an inviting green, but with a slope running off the front of the green, it's maybe going to be difficult to do an up and run on this one. Again, you probably want to take this just behind the pin or pin high if needs be. I was annoyed with that pit shot coming in at the green there. My finger actually slipped off the controller, and I was lucky just to get a slow. At the time that happens, I get a very slow, so I'll take that though. Left me in a decent opportunity, and I did convert that birdie. So hole 10, 406 yards, par 4, stroke index 14. Again, you've got these fairways are very inviting. The bunkers off to the right really shouldn't come into play, and again you've got the yardage here to pull it back a club or two and just leave that narrow bit of the fairway out the equation. I don't think it's going to benefit you much with being aggressive. So this green is a definite must go for the pin. I'll be looking to drop this in the pin, just using a wee bit of high loft and just get the ball sitting as best as you can. Try not to control any more than I would say a quarter of your high loft. You don't want to be taking any more than that off. Okay, so that's a nice wee par there. You can see I was stuck in between shots there in that part of the fairway, but happy with that. So hole 11, 403 yards, par 4, stroke index 12. So again, another one of these kind of toying about with just over 400 yards, par 4. So do have the trees on the right hand side. To be honest, they are potentially quite cuttable, and you can land just in line with them or just in front slightly depending on wind. Slightly elevated green to the right hand side, protected by 2 bunkers, which shouldn't really be coming into play, and a very, very inviting pin position in pin position 1. Some other pin positions I've looked at can be a wee bit dodgy. Certainly there's one off to the front right there, so just keep a wee eye on that when it does come up. I'm glad I put a wee bit of that high loft on there. I did have a feeling I was going to catch that front slope, and it was just to take the bite out it, which it did do, so happy with that. Okay, so quite a lengthy par 3 here, hole 12, 215 yards, and it is playing stroke index 8. So a fantastic looking par 3 here, water basically covering all round of it, and again you've got a slightly elevated tee just at the back, elevated pin position just at the back right. Again, this is one where again you're going to be looking to take to the pin here. There's not really much in the way of safety play with this course. You probably can get away with being quite aggressive. Okay, that could have been a lot worse there. Again, didn't feel that slow to me on my swing, and that's a couple of times I've pulled them out in this round tonight. It's not something I usually do, is get a slow down swing, but anyway. Okay, so hole 13, 466 yards. Again, another par 4 and stroke index 6. Water on the left, I would obviously stay away from, but keep an eye on your fairway position here. You want to make sure you're not going to be in too much of a slope. Overhanging trees here can come into play depending on pin position. This one shouldn't be too bad. If you do hug the left side of the fairway, just kind of flirt with the light rough, then you should be okay for bringing this ball in. Again, you'll be looking to land either just after the pin or pin high. Because that was a bit of a disaster hole for me. I was trying to be a wee bit too cute with the left side there, because the last time I did play this, I got caught up in the trees at the right hand side, and I was just trying to make sure, put a wee bit too much draw on it, and never moved it out to the right, so I was caught out there. So I'm hopefully not going to do that again on this one. But again, you're left with quite a slopey fairway, so weigh up whether or not it's going to be worthwhile whipping your driver out in this one. It's potentially unreachable after 2 shots anyway. So, and again, you've got this kind of, this is a trademark of whoever designed this one. It definitely narrows down on the fairway, but quite an inviting green on this one, which you could potentially land just at the slopes here and roll the ball up. But I think if you pull out a par on this hill, you're going to be in a good place. Should probably put a wee bit more effort into my putting. I don't really know what happened there, but you can definitely see the slope in the fairway had quite an effect. To be honest, it didn't have as much as an effect I would normally think it would. I would expect that to go completely off to the left, but it seemed to have held up quite well. Okay, so hole 15, 260 yards, par 3, stroke index 2. So again, verging on the kind of high end, bringing in your wood into the greens here. I think this could catch a lot of guys out, especially with that kind of narrow middle part of the fairway, which the pin is at. It's going to be a tough one to call on this one, to be honest. But I would probably be looking just to land just a wee bit shorter and just letting your ball run up as best you can if you're unlike me and in between clubs. Okay, so just missing out in the par on that one there. But it says I was in between clubs. I was either going to be the back of the green or I was going to be the front. So there's nothing that I could do with that one. Okay, so hole 16, 513 yards, par 4, stroke index 4. So quite a lengthy par 4 in this one. I'm glad that the fairway does open up slightly on your landing zone, but coming into this green, we've got a very, very front right tight pin position, which is protected by, you're pretty much going straight on to rough at this point here, and I'll be looking to use that wee amber slope that you can see just behind the pin as much as you can. That's going to be more beneficial than trying to land it pin high. I can't believe I took a 70-foot putt within about 6 foot and then I missed the putt. Unbelievable. As you can see my scorecard dropping off here, there seems to be a definite change in course in the kind of back nine here, which I quite like. I quite like that. It's keeping you out your comfort zone, but there definitely seems to be the slopes in the fairways are getting a lot worse and causing a lot of problems. Certainly if you approach shot into the green, the greens don't seem to be as easy as certainly they were playing beforehand. Okay, so hole 17, 466 yards, par 4. A relatively easy par 4 on this one considering what we've just had. Quite a wide fairway, but we do have a slightly elevated green on this one, which to be honest, it's going to be quite approachable. So I would just play this like any normal par 4 and expect to walk away with a birdie in this one. Okay, so that was a nice wee chip in there. I must have got something wrong with my calculations there. I certainly didn't expect that iron shot to go so far, but I think that was definitely down to me. Okay, so hole 18, 596 yards, par 4, stroke index 18. So this is shown to be the easiest hole in the course here, and I quite like that it finishes on a par 5. Do have the lake on the right hand side here again, the kind of trademark narrowing fairways, but this one, depending on wind, should play quite well in quite a favourable wind position. I think this is going to be a lot more difficult when you start using the right hand side of that green, but this should be unachievable. Certainly par on this one, but I'll be looking to definitely walk away with a birdie. Okay, so walk away with a nice birdie in that. So a relatively simple round. It could have played a lot better if I put a wee bit more concentration, certainly into my putts anyway. But I think this could be quite challenging in the wind. but also I think it's going to help guys out because taking a driver off a tee causes you to go into quite a slopey fairway, whereas I think if you've got a headwind it's going to then shoot your driver back kind of 10 or 15 yards, which it looks as if the design of the fairway is showing that that's a wee bit more flatter. So I think it could work out quite well, but I think there's going to be quite a lot of pond balls and quite an aggressive play on this one, and depending on other pin positions I think there's going to be some dodgy slopes, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be definitely quite good. I'd maybe be looking to try and get as many as there's quite a couple of long par 4s, certainly a couple of long par 3s, and definitely some long par 5s. So I would maybe be looking to change up my bag a wee bit and concentrate on having a wee bit more heavier clubs. So maybe having like a 2 and a 3 wood or a couple of irons in there, whatever you're looking at. So maybe change it up just so you've got a wee bit more control down at the further end of your golf bag. There wasn't really a lot of times I used flop shots in that. There was a couple of pitch shots and chip shots, but not a lot of flops. So there wasn't a kind of long drive flop shot. That wasn't really the kind of course, but definitely be looking to change up my bag a wee bit for the competition, which I might do. So good luck to everyone. Prediction time. I don't really know, because I've got it relatively close for the past couple of rounds, but I've been out enough that it's not embarrassing, but it's it was wrong. So based on what we've had wind-wise in the past couple of events, I'm going to say about, I think it's going to be more than 50. I'm going to say 53 under, because I think this could play very, very well for aggressive players. This isn't the type of course to drop your ball and let it run up, which is the courses I like. So there's a lot of guys out there that do that, and sometimes they don't mean to do it, it's just because they don't pick the right club. But I think the guys who go after the pin and then loft up are going to be the ones that favour this course, and that's usually the big scorers. So I'm going to say 53 under. I think it's going to be the winning score. So good luck to everyone, and let me know how you got on. Give the video a like and leave in the comments below what you want to get, and then come back and leave a comment as to what you did get. I like keeping in contact with people. I like seeing what guys are getting. I like hearing that. So yeah, put in the comments below what you like about the course, what you didn't like, anything you maybe want to change, and what your overall score was, and give the video a like if you've watched it. And if you've not already done so, please subscribe to my channel. It is free. It's the best way to support my channel. It lets me know to keep doing what I'm doing with these videos. A lot of you guys do watch my videos who aren't subscribed to the channel, which is fine, I totally get that, but certainly I put out videos all the time, so just make sure that you're in tune with that and you know when my videos come out so you don't miss anything. So I appreciate you all watching, and take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you soon in the next video. Good luck. Let me know on Facebook and in the comments below how you get on. Alright guys, we'll leave it there. Okay, bye.